Tables provide the foundation for any good database, and the success of a database, how well it functions and how flexible it is to future growth, often comes down to the structure of tables that house your data. Understanding how tables function in Access is a key to creating a well-structured database. Tables in Access follow a very strict model. Their horizontal rows are called records. Records are an unbroken chain of properties that describe a single entity. For instance, in an employees table, you would have a record for each individual in the company. Fields are the vertical columns. Each field in a table is a single property that is being tracked for each record. Each field can hold data of a single data type. You can choose to store short text, which is up to 255 characters, long text with a maximum character limit of 65,000. This is useful for comments or memos. Numerical values that you perform mathematical calculations with. These can be set to integers only or can include decimal values. Date and time, or currency values. Auto number fields create an incrementing serial number field that Access creates for you when new records are added to the table. Yes, no is a binary field. Can be yes or no, true or false, or on or off. OLE object is an older format used for attaching files such as images or Word documents. If you need to attach files, I recommend using the newer and much more efficient attachment data type. Really, the OLE object data type is just kept around for backwards compatibility and probably shouldn't be used at this point. If you'd rather not import files into the database, you can choose to use a hyperlink data type and provide a link to external content. This could be files on your network, email addresses, or locations on the internet. Finally, the calculated value creates data by calculating it from one or more of your other fields, and the lookup wizard will help you create a drop-down list to limit the available entries. In addition to the fields that describe each record's properties, we will also create fields that link tables together. Previously, I've mentioned that Access stores data in related tables. Because of this, each record in the table needs to be uniquely identifiable. In order to ensure that this is the case, we'll create a field specifically for this purpose called the primary key. The primary key is typically a serial number or other unique identifier. Think about how many unique identifiers you have for the various databases that you personally appear in. You probably have a driver's license number, a library card number, a social security number, a checking account number, the list goes on and on. The reason all of these systems use serial numbers instead of just your name is so that they can guarantee a unique individual. It wouldn't be very nice if one Mary Smith had to pay a fine for another Mary Smith's overdue library book, just because the library couldn't tell them apart. The primary key will also be our link to finding related records in additional tables. In the related table, they will be called the foreign key. The process of breaking your data into related tables is called normalization. Normalization rules fall into several categories, called normal forms. Your database is said to satisfy the first normal form, or 1NF, if all of the cells contain only a single value. Rather than have a single employee name field, we should break that into separate first name and last name fields. Breaking addresses into separate street, city, state, and zip code fields is another common example. The second normal form states that only data that is dependent on the primary key belongs in that table. We wouldn't want to store information about the customers each employee has helped in the employees table. Instead, we should create a new table that describes the interaction between our employees and our customers. The third normal form states that data that can be calculated or derived from other fields should not be stored in the database. We wouldn't want to create a field for employee initials, for example, because we can easily calculate them by taking the first letter from the first name field and the first letter from the last name field. Tables are where your data lives and are the foundation for your database. Creating a strong foundation as a base, then growing your database on top with the addition of queries, forms, and reports will mean your database will be able to be flexible and efficient.